We're nearing the end of 2024, and it has been quite a year.
So we thought we'd spend some time to just reflect on the year, both the highs and the lows. We thought we would start by talking about some of the more exciting things that have happened this year, right?
So first up, big thing, obviously, we started our YouTube channel.
We did.
Something that we have been talking about for a long time, probably several years.
Yeah, I don't know if we've talked about that before. Have we talked about that before? Of like why?
I don't know.
We wanted to do our YouTube
Maybe.
channel? Yeah. We started our YouTube video, we started our YouTube channel really because when we were planning to move to Chicago, I was really into watching like Disney cruise vlogs, to be perfectly honest. I had several channels that I watched. Some of you may have kind of found us through like Disney cruise content as well, and so you may watch these channels too. But like Leg Life and RZ Roll and Adventures in Millerland and all of that, and like, so what I really wanted was to find a lifestyle vlogger in Chicago so that we could kind of like see what their life was like living downtown. I mean, my parents live here, so we kind of already know, but that's what I was really looking for. And so then we thought maybe we could do it. So that's why we started our channel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we are.
The short story, I suppose.
It has been a great experience.
It has been.
Also, it comes with its lows. Obviously, it's
been harder than I expected,
Yeah.
but it's been. What I've liked about it is getting to kind of flex my creative muscles because I don't feel like I do a lot of things that are creative. So that part's been fun.
It definitely has helped me keeping like
routine.
Yeah. And like, because there's definitely like you have to plan a video, shoot a video, edit a video, and like.
And we try to keep a consistent schedule as much as possible. So yeah, I think it's good.
And then I think the biggest benefit of the whole YouTube channel is the fact that we get to reflect on our memories very easily. We just have a recorded video of something that we kind of did, several months ago that maybe
I don't think either one of us are great at like documenting our experiences. We've always been terrible at like taking photos and pretty much anything that that like tells us about like whatever we've done in the past. And so I feel like YouTube has been really great in we actually have a catalog of experiences, and anything that happened before we were on YouTube, before we had our channel, we might have a photo. Maybe.
Well, yeah, we got to the point where like anything that we did with your family, we just relied on your sister to take
my
the photos.
sister's great at it. She takes lots of photos, lots of videos.
Us going like on ourselves, like we have like two or three photos the whole time.
Right.
And usually
oftentimes the photos. I was gonna say. I was like, usually the photos are not even of us.
Yeah, they're like
something we saw. I don't know. Yeah, 100%. So it's been really great for that. It has been wonderful. So we plan to continue doing it, as long as it is something that we are really enjoying. And and again, getting to kind of flex be outside my box a little bit, be outside my comfort zone. So it's been nice. So other things that have happened this year have been kind of new jobs and opportunities. So for me personally, I changed jobs this year. I now work for a company that's in Chicago. I formerly worked for a company that was in Northern Kentucky in the area where we used to live, and I worked remote. And I switched in the early part of May to a new job here in Chicago, so I get to go in the office a couple days a week. That's been really exciting. And I recently was promoted at my job, so it has been a banner year for my career. It's been wonderful. So I also actually, earlier this year, because I'm a project manager, I got my PMP certification. So it's kind of been like one thing after another to kind of, launch me forward. So it's been a really good year for me, for my job.
Yeah, so been job changes for me as well, in the beginning.
Because you graduated
in December I graduated school, finished my internship. Was previously working at Vans, and that sadly my store closed, so I was let go from that job. But the biggest thing...
But that was just a part-time job.
Yeah, it was just a part-time job. It wasn't like...
That wasn't a design job.
It wasn't my dream job.
Right.
It was just a job.
But it was nice for the discount.
Yeah. But the main thing for job opportunity is that I was promoted to manager at the kayak place.
Yes. Yeah.
I loved it.
We should talk about how you got the job at Urban Kayaks, because it's a funny story to me. Like,
well, so back up 3 years ago when we moved here. Before we were planning to move, I talked about how I wanted to get a kayak.
Yeah, and I said no.
You could
Where
get like
in the world
the
we store
foldable kayaks, the plastic ones. Like it's
which
doable.
sounds like a hassle.
And you were like, "No way! Why would you do that?" And I'm like, "Because then I could kayak in the river. It's so close." And then we were here.
Yeah,
It was like
we had moved here. We'd only been here maybe like a few weeks.
Yeah,
it wasn't long.
And we were out and about with your parents and on the river. And your mom looks over and sees the kayak place that I work, Urban Kayaks, and she was like, "You should work there. Yeah. That looks like something you would enjoy." And I was like,
I think you applied right then and there, didn't you? On your phone.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, that actually does." And I had because I've been applying to so many jobs, I had my resume like saved to my phone, and I just.
Because you were looking for summer jobs specifically. Because I think that was when we first moved here, you were going to be here for the summer, and then you actually had to move back to Cincinnati that fall to finish out school. I forgot about that, yeah. So you were looking for a specifically like summer job.
Yeah, something that I could easily leave.
So it was perfect. But you've fallen in love with it.
Yeah, and then I got the job, and then now...
And you've done it every summer since.
Yep. Yeah. And I will do it every summer.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah, so we made the decision, because you loved it so much,
yeah.
and because you are a manager now, we made the decision that would just kind of be your standing, because it's 6 months out of the year, so then it's just sort of figuring out what to do with the other 6 months.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's been great, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's been really good. All right, so other things that have been exciting this year for us have been travel.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a desert with travel for a while during COVID, because we didn't really go anywhere at all during COVID.
We didn't even see family.
Or even, we didn't, yeah. But then even after, kind of like, when things started kind of opening back up, so to speak, and going back to normal, we still really just didn't travel a lot. Like we hadn't been to Disney since before COVID. We hadn't done a lot of things. So we went on our very first Disney cruise in February of this year. It's funny because in some ways it feels like it was so long ago.
It does. I was just thinking
and I'm like, that was this year? Like,
yeah,
like
that's crazy to think that was this year.
Yeah, but
a lot has happened
wasn't that long ago. Yes, a lot has happened this year. So, but yeah, that was amazing. We went to Santa Fe.
Yeah, we went to see your grandmother and your uncle, something that we haven't done since...
We hadn't been there in a long time.
Yeah, that was...
It had been a number of years.
It was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
In between.
And when we went, it was really cold, and there was snow everywhere.
Yeah.
So this was nice because we actually got to, enjoy it a little bit more. It's beautiful weather. And I went to Disney World.
Yeah.
That was my first time back since before COVID. I know. But we're going in like a month, so you'll be fine. You don't have to wait that much longer. So, yeah, I feel like it's been nice getting back to traveling, because that was something that, we were really missing. So this has been an exciting year for that.
I think back to what you said about how it feels like we've had a lot happen in this year. I think that the YouTube channel actually helps that, because it's like, because we're kind of more present in the things that are happening.
Yes.
Versus just like a month goes by and nothing significant has really happened, or like nothing for you to remember. But when you film it and you record it and you have to edit it, you kind of like, it ingrains in your brain.
It's like stuck in your brain.
Oh, we did so much. Yeah.
Well, and I also feel like, because the last point that I wanted to make is that I feel like we've experienced our city and enjoyed our city to like the fullest extent for the first time since we've moved here. I don't know if you feel that way, but
that is true.
It's been like, because I feel like when we moved here, we were so excited about going out and getting to like explore, basically feel like tourists all the time. That was one of the things that we were really looking forward to. Because you'll even say it. You're like, it feels like I live on vacation, and it does sometimes. Because we're I feel like so blessed and fortunate to just have the Art Institute across the street and the Film Museum just down the road, and just it's just. And Navy Pier, and like you work on the river. Just things that like, a lot of people don't get to experience maybe more than once in their lifetime, and we get to experience it like basically every weekend, and it's really cool. And I think YouTube has helped us, like being on YouTube, I think has helped us like want to go and do those things even more. Because we're like, we could share this, because we want people to love our city the way that we love it. You know what I mean? Like, so I think it's definitely been
I think another thing that has helped us too is just going down to one job. At the start of the year.
Well, when you were still in school and working a bunch of part-time jobs, that's true.
Yeah.
That's really true.
So now that I have at least one job at the time, it helps because we have more free time. I'm working 40 hours a week and not 60.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. And I think the summer can be hard because you do work, like, we kind of don't work the same schedule, so that can be a little bit of a challenge because you tend to work a lot more on the weekends or in the evenings and things like that. But we still were able to make it work and do a lot of really fun things.
Yeah, obviously, we have been fortunate enough to go on, 3 trips this year and do all of these things. But I feel like it's like that's what we do. We kind of make a point to make those things happen. So we kind of
prioritize it.
Yeah, we prioritize having the ability to travel and stuff. So
I think life is about your experiences more so than like the things that you have. So I think that is something that I just think we just tend to naturally value that. So it's like and that's one of the reasons we wanted to move to Chicago too, right? Because this is a place we've always enjoyed visiting. Because my parents have lived here for a long time, and we've always enjoyed and loved the city. And so it was like, well, how do we prioritize being there? We moved there. That's how you prioritize that. So we made significant life changes to make that happen.
So obviously, there's been a lot of good things that happened this year, and there has been a few bad things.
So we're going to try to talk about this without crying, so we're going to gloss right over this real quickly. But we lost Weasel this year, which was really tough. So we had Weasel, and I don't think we've talked about the story really, but we inherited Weasel and her brother and her mother from your grandmother when she passed away. And that was in the winter of 2015. So we had Weasel for, I think we were going on 9 years. She was around 10 when we got her, and she would have been 19 this January. Yeah. So that was a very difficult loss. It never is the right time. So that was definitely a low. Definitely a low for this year for sure.
And then another thing is that Ollie, our cat, was diagnosed with diabetes. Not as serious, but it is kind of serious.
It can be, yeah.
So
thankfully, we have been able to get it under control.
Yeah, he's on medicine that he takes every day.
Yeah, we were doing. We did have to do insulin shots with him for a while, and that was
pretty difficult.
It was twice a day. And it had to be kind of at the same times every day. So it really controlled our schedules. Yeah. I feel like it really kind of was difficult to say, well, we have to be home so we can give all his medicine. And so thankfully we have been able to transition him to an oral medication that he gets to take in the mornings, and he's responded well to it. So that's been a good thing.
Especially the insulin, I couldn't even begin to think about asking someone to do that for us.
Yeah. I mean, and we have, obviously a cruise coming up around the corner, and thinking about and I know my parents are so gracious to watch, them for us, but I felt bad having to ask them to be like, hey, can you come over twice a day at this exact time? And, because you have to really work your schedule around it and then give him shots, which, giving thankfully Ollie's a really good cat, and, he did pretty well with his shots, but it's giving an animal a shot is not as easy, I think, probably as a human that you can maybe rationalize with. So yeah, that's definitely been kind of a downside dealing with that. But I guess to be more to put a positive spin on it, we're kind of on, I think, the side of management now, which is really good. And he's healthy and doing really well now, but he was pretty unhealthy there for a bit, and it was a pretty scary time. He lost half of his body weight basically. So it was kind of scary. So. But that's kind of been our year. We had a lot of amazing things happen. Obviously, there's always bad that comes with the good. Yeah. But 2024 was a pretty good year for us, and I think we have a lot to be thankful for sure, as we kind of look back on that. And I think a lot to look forward to in 2025. So looking forward to that, and I hope everyone's having a wonderful holiday. I know we're rounding the end of Vlogmas here, as this video will be posted. But if you like this video, we hope you did. Give us a thumbs up.
If you want to see more of our content from downtown Chicago, make sure to subscribe. We'll see you next time.